Cliff Mesa Planning and Zoning Board hearing. We welcome you. We'll go ahead and call the meeting to order. The first thing we'll do is take action on the consent agenda items. So if you are here to speak in favor or against any item on the agenda that's indicated with an asterisk, you need to fill out one of these blue cards right now and send it over to our staff. Is anybody filling one out that we just don't see, or looks like we might be good? Okay, so we just have the one for item 4F. Okay, thank you. So we just have the one item 4F that we are pulling off the consent agenda. So we actually have two consent agendas, and Board Member Boyle is going to go ahead and start with the first consent agenda, then we'll vote on that, and then he'll call into the record the second agenda, and then we'll vote on that, and then we'll move to the regular hearing.
Okay. Items on the consent agenda. Approval of the minutes from the previous meeting. That's item 2A. Item 3A, ZON 18-00344, District 6, the 7100 to 7300 blocks of East Ray Road on the north side, located east of Power Road on the north side of Ray Road. Site plan review. The staff recommendation is approval with conditions with the revised stipulations provided during the study session. 3B, ZON 18-00351, District 3, 1150 West Southern Avenue, located north of Southern Avenue on the east side of Alma School Road. The staff recommendation is approval with conditions. Item 3C, ZON 18-00353, District 5, the 1800 block of North Higley Road, west side, and the 5100 block of East Ingram Street, north side, located south of McKellips Road and west of Higley Road. Staff recommendation, approval with conditions. Item 3D, ZON 18-00355, District 6, the 4200 to 4400 blocks of South Signal Butte Road, west side, and the 10600 to 10800 blocks of East Point 22 Boulevard, north side, located on the northwest corner of Signal Butte Road and Point 22 Boulevard. Staff recommendation, approval with conditions. Item 3E, ZON 18-00358, District 6, the 6100 to 6200 blocks of East Auto Park Drive, south and east sides, located west of Superstition Springs Boulevard, north of the US 60 Superstition Freeway. Staff recommendation, approval with conditions. Okay, item 3F, ZON 18-00362, District 6, 6400 through 66 blocks of South Mountain Road, west side, located on the west side of Mountain Road and north of Pecos Road. This is withdrawn by applicant. Item 4A, ZON 17-00355, District 5, the 1300 to 1400 blocks of North Power Road, east side, located on the east side of Power Road and the north side and south side of Halifax Drive. This is continued to May 16th, 2018. Item 4B.
This is tabled.
Oh, this is tabled. Oh, continued from, my apologies. 4A is tabled. 4B, ZON 18-00121, District 6, the 3600 to 5200 blocks of South Ellsworth Road, east side, and 9200 to 10,800 blocks of East Elliott Road, south side, and the 3,600 to 6,000 blocks of the South Signal Butte Road alignment, west side, located south of Elliott Road between Ellsworth Road and Signal Butte Road. This is staff recommendation, approval with conditions. 4C, ZON 18-00171, District 6, the 8,200 to 8,400 blocks of East Baseline Road, north side, located west of South Channing, Haas Road, alignment on the north side of Baseline Road. The staff recommendation, do I do the companion plat as well, John?
You'll get to that when you get to that agenda.
I'll just go all the way through, okay. Staff recommendation, approval with conditions. Item 4D, ZON 18-00310, District 3, the 1,700 to 1,800 blocks of South Horn, west side, the 1,700 to 1,800 blocks of South Hobson East Side, and the 600 to 700 blocks of Auto Center Drive South Side, located north of Baseline Road and east of Mesa Drive. Staff recommendation, approval with conditions. Item 4E, ZON 18-00335, District 5, 6606 East McKellips Road, located west of Power Road on the north side of McKellips Road. Staff recommendation, approval with conditions. Item 5A, Heritage. 4G is going to be on the second consent agenda, correct? Yeah, there'll be two consent agendas. Item 5A, Heritage Crossing 2, District 6, the 8,200 to 8,400 blocks of East Baseline Road, north side, located west of Haas Road on the north side of Baseline Road. Staff recommendation, approval with conditions. Item 5D, Eastmark DU 3/4 North Phase 1 and 2, District 6, the 9,500 to 9,900 blocks of East Point 22 north side, the 4,500 to 4,800 blocks of South Inspiron Parkway west side, the 4,300 to 4,800 blocks of South Inspiron Parkway east side, the 4,200 to 4,700 blocks of South Eastmark Parkway west side, and the 9,400 to 9,700 blocks of the future East Warner Road south side. Staff recommendation, approval with conditions. 5E, Cadence at Gateway, Phases 2 and 3, DU2, District 6, the 5,600 to 6,000 blocks of South Crisman Road west side, the 9,800 to 10,000 blocks of East Williamsfield Road north side, the 5,600 block of South Cortland both sides, the 9,600 block of South Drexel both sides, the 9,800 block of South Cadence Parkway both sides, the 9,800 block of East Toledo south side, and the 5,600 block of South Quezon Way both sides. Staff recommendation is approval with conditions.
Okay, so that concludes the first consent agenda. Okay, so if someone would like to make a motion to approve the first consent agenda?
I would move that we approve the consent agenda as read in for the record for the Wednesday, July 18th, 2018 meeting.
Okay, do we have a second?
I second that motion.
Okay, please vote. Okay, excellent. Okay, so the first consent agenda passes with Board Member Sarkisian absent. So now we'll go ahead and read in the second consent agenda.
Okay, items on the second consent agenda. Item 4G, the ZON 18-00360, District 2, the 3,100 block of East Broadway Road south side, located east of Lindsay Road on the south side of Broadway Road. Staff recommendation is approval with conditions. And item 5C, Broadway and 32nd Townhomes, District 2, the 3,100 block of East Broadway Road south side, located east of Lindsay Road on the south side of Broadway Road. Staff recommendation is approval with conditions.
Okay, so that concludes the second consent agenda.
Would you like me to announce the reasoning? So ultimately, I can't vote on this consent agenda considering I'm the applicant for that case.
Okay, thank you.
I would make a recommendation that we approve the second consent agenda as read in for the record for the July 18th, 2018 meeting.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. Do we have a second?
Second.
Okay, all in favor, please vote. Okay, the second agenda passes unanimously with Board Member Asshole recusing himself and Board Member Sarkisian absent. So now we will move on to the regular consent, or regular agenda, sorry.
So, Chair, if maybe Board Member Ashton will go ahead and declare his conflict and he can, yep.
Okay.
Yeah, again, considering I'm the applicant for this case of discussion, I'm going to recuse myself and step down. Thanks.
Thank you. Okay, thank you. Okay, so item 4F, give me just 1 minute here. It is ZON 18-00359, District 4, the 1,100 block of South Stapley Drive, located east of Stapley Drive and north of Southern Avenue on approximately 1.6 acres. This is a rezoning from LC to RM2 PAD in a site plan review. This will allow for the development of an attached single residence development. The staff planner is Cassidy Welsh, who I believe will be giving us a
Would you like to go ahead and read in the preliminary plat also, that way?
Yes, why don't we go ahead and we'll do that. So, we'll also discuss the companion preliminary plat, which is item 5B on the agenda.
Thank you, Madam Chair, members of the board. This request is for a site located east of Stapley and north of Southern Avenue. This will be a 20-unit single residence townhome development in an existing commercial center. It's a vacant lot behind an existing restaurant and retail buildings. The request is to rezone the site from LC Limited Commercial to RM2 PAD to accommodate the single residence attached development. As I stated previously, there is some concern with rezoning a commercial property to residential. However, we feel due to the nature of the site and the fact that it's been vacant so long, that staff feels comfortable with rezoning this request. The request does include a PAD overlay, which is included to accommodate reduced setbacks, particularly to the north and west building and landscape setbacks, as well as reduced garage sizes from the traditional 20-foot wide by 22 feet deep to 24 feet wide by 20 feet deep. The site, it's 20 units, so there are 5 attached units grouped into one building, 4 buildings total. The buildings are located in the center of the site with garages facing outwards and interior courtyards and private spaces facing inwards to create a more private space for those residents, with the community amenities, the pool, and the dog run located at the southern portion of the site. With that, I would be happy to answer any questions.
Okay, thank you. Does anyone have any questions for staff at this time? Yeah, just one moment, please. We'll open it up to the public in just a second, okay? All right, so nobody has any questions for staff? Okay. Did you fill out the blue card? Is this yours? Okay. Okay, well, we're not ready for that sec. We're almost with you, almost there. Hold on just a second. Okay. Okay, no, that's fine. All right, so we don't have any questions of staff, but we'll go ahead and have the applicant come up and give a presentation.
Madam Chair, members of the board, good afternoon. My name is Reese Anderson. I'm with the law firm of Pugh & Lake. Our address is 1744 South Vel Vista, number 217 here in Mesa. I'm here today on behalf of Edifice Architecture as well as Southern and Stapley Partners, who we also represent. Madam Chair, I think the best use of our time, given that this case was heard before you at the study session yesterday. There were little to no questions on it. It was before you with the staff recommendation for approval. I think our best use of time might be to listen to some of these questions from the residents that are here, and then let me focus comments directly on those so we just don't unnecessarily belay the afternoon. Would that be okay with you, Madam Chair?
That's fine, yes, thank you very much.
So why don't I tender the time, and then we'll stand back up and answer questions.
Sure,
Thank
okay.
you.
Thank you. Okay. So we'll go ahead and open it up to the public then, and our blue card here is from Sharon, I'm so sorry. Sharon, would you like to please come up?
I would like to.
If you could just hold on just a second, there's a little bit of procedure here. If you could just come up to the podium, it's okay, and then just state your name and address for the record, and I just wanted to remind you that we have 3 minutes for you to speak.
I got you.
All
right, my name is Sharon Howden.
If I interrupt, so go ahead.
And I've lived on that property on 1265 since 1979. Off and on being out of college. I don't understand why anybody would want to build townhouses behind a terrace building, other than you can have 5 sober houses and then continued family living, displaced living. Not happy about the 2-story thing. There's nothing 2-story in that neighborhood at all. 10 single stories would be fabulous. There's a lot of neighbors that can't come tonight because they're on vacation and they can't be here. They did the zoning, they did the site thing in January, and then they waited until June 1st or middle of June to notify us, and then they hit us again in July. And I didn't even get what was going on until Jan Duff sent me everything. So we're not happy about 2-story. We're not happy about 20 units. They're gonna go straight out past Taros. And it doesn't matter who buys them. They can lease them to anyone. And if it was in your backyard, or your mom's backyard, your sister's backyard, your dad's backyard, it's a parking lot. There's a Teros parking lot, a Teros building, commercial behind it. I'm sure I would just run and buy one of those townhouses. So you guys need to think about what you're doing because it's not fair to the neighborhood. And they're 2-story high. There's nothing 2-story high in that neighborhood at all. It's not fair to us. And there's a lot of people that wish they could be here, but they can't. It's 4 o'clock in the afternoon. I'm dirty from working. I haven't had time to take a shower. Thank God you're that way. But just please consider, we would like a continuous until October. For the neighborhood, I would request from you guys to give us a continuous until October for everybody to come back from out of town and for us to get together and have a good meeting in the neighborhood and then come meet with y'all. I would just very much appreciate a continuous until October, late October, so when folks come back in from town. Nobody's here except for me because I'm crazy. I'm a landscaper. I have to be here. So can you all do that, maybe? Think about it?
Thanks,
just
Jen.
give us a couple more, because they just blindsided us. They did the site in January. We got a letter in June. We got a letter in July, and bam. And we would like to slow it down just for a little while. And it can't hurt them to slow it down.
Okay, thank you, Sharon. The perfect timing. 3 minutes.
Yeah,
thank you
20
for,
seconds.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Do we have anybody else that's here? This is our only blue card, so just want to make sure. Okay. Mr. Anderson, would you like to come back up? And did you? Yes.
I see some citizens here that may be considering whether they want to talk. Just want to make sure they were given their.
Well, I didn't even talk, but we're all representing that neighborhood, you know. This is all
If you'd like to come up, you just get a blue card and give it to our staff so we make sure we have your name and address in there for the record.
We have emails.
Do I need to get a blue card? for
You know what, we'll go ahead and get it to you. Go ahead and just read your name and address into the record, and then we'll give you
I'm
3
Denise
minutes.
Sorn, and I live just probably half a block from that area. I'm on Forge Avenue, and I said, when we got all this here, I mean, it was, like she said, it was in June and July. A lot of people are on vacation, they're gone. But, you know, like, that area is just like for 20 households in that area, I think is just, you know, not really feasible. You know, like you get households, you got 2-car garages, you know, you're saying you accommodate them, but what happens when there's like, you know, a teenager, a third car, you know, where are you gonna put all these cars? You know, they got say they have 7 empty parking spaces, you know, like you start getting cars piling up. I mean, it's just, and then like she said, like it's being 2-story, we all have only single-story houses and everything, so if you get people on 2 stories, then they're looking in our backyards and stuff. You know, that's part of the reason that we bought those houses, because there wasn't anybody behind us, you know. And so I just, like, I'm with her. I'd like to have like a continuance until October to maybe, you know, have the neighborhood discuss this more and try to get a reevaluation on it. I just think 20 households there is just way too much for that area. Okay, thank you for considering us.
Thank you. Thank you for your comments. Did anybody else, did you want to speak to, ma'am? No? Okay. All right. So I think we can go ahead and bring Mr. Anderson up now to comment on the neighbor questions and concerns.
Madam Chair, let me see if I can succinctly go through. There's Mrs. Sharon, had a concern about being by Teros with sober living. I think the concern there is, if I could state it for her, might be that this is going to be turned into a low-income, halfway house for people that are going to stay there. A legitimate concern, but I can assure you that it's not. These are for sale, market rate units. That's just not going to happen here. It's just not the plan. We have not, other than sending notices to Teros, we've had no contact with them. The second concern was about 2-story. Again, a fair concern. But I remind you that the code already takes into account the distances that should be there when you have 2-story units next to a residential neighborhood. And that distance is 30 feet. And that's already counted for in our zoning ordinance. Here we're providing 40. So we're going greater than what's required. And I remind all of us that just because a house on one side they have the right to go 2 stories on their side. Even though it may be single story, they could be like me and add a second story on your house. We've seen it happen as families grow. Second question here, plus, on that note, I wanted to make clear too, just so you knew, that the units facing that side or to the east have no windows. So concerns about privacy are completely alleviated because there's no windows facing to the east. There was a comment made about holding meetings or notices in January. We're just unsure what that would be. Notices, the neighborhood notices that go out, the informational ones, 1,000+ feet, half-mile to HOAs, et cetera, those were sent in June of this year. And we had a few people contact us, as you've seen in your staff report. We've contacted back all those people. Some people we've made arrangements with to clean things up, organize something differently, and made accommodations in the site plan. A continuance to October, I know that request is made, and let me just state that that's just not feasible. We have contractual deadlines to purchase this property, and they're coming up here in August. So there's not time for that. Plus, we feel like we've complied with all of the code. We've done it appropriately. There's no strategic plan to try and slip something through during the summer months. Overflow parking, again, a valid concern, except for the fact that this property does not physically, or I should say, connect in a vehicular way to the neighborhood to the east. It's walled off. So if there happens to be any overflow parking, which we've got enough on site, you're just not gonna have cars going over that way. I mean, it would be quite extreme to have someone park in that neighborhood. You'd have to go through backyards and jump walls. Just unrealistic in our opinion. Those are the main issues that I heard, Madam Chair, members of the board. Be happy to address others that you might have heard that I missed.
Does anyone have any questions for the applicant?
Hey, can I ask a quick one? Is there a physical boundary along the north side, or is that just open to that lot?
So the question, board member, was a physical boundary on the north, and the answer is no, and that's because there's a shared drive between us and the business to the north. Same to the west, which is why you see in that PAD table a reduction in setbacks, because there's a recognition of the shared drive on the west and north.
Okay, and on the south as well, right?
Well, on the
south, all the drives kind of lead in there and they back out.
It's true if you were to look at the broader one, but there's not while the shared drive comes up from the north, it doesn't run parallel with that southern boundary.
Okay, go ahead.
Madam Chair, I do have a question. This one?
Yeah.
Good afternoon, Mr. Anderson. Yeah. Is there a connection to the neighborhood? You said there's no vehicular connection with the neighborhood to the east. Is there a pedestrian path that leads into that neighborhood?
Board Member Crockett, thank you for the chance to clarify. I meant to say there's no connectivity at all. No pedestrian, no vehicular. It's a wall.
So you would literally have to go through the neighbor's yard to get into this project?
Right.
Thank you.
Just unpractical, unfeasible, just unrealistic.
Okay, any other questions?
Madam Chair?
Yes.
The only other question I had maybe is for Mr. Wesley or for staff on this one.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Anderson.
Thank you.
We'll let him sit. Please, go ahead, yes.
And I notice in the staff report, under the neighborhood participation, it indicates that there will be an updated citizen participation report prior to the July 17 study session. An update will be provided by staff. Did that happen, or do we have that?
Yes, that was included with the packet.
It is in the packet.
Yes.
Okay. That's all I had. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Well, actually, yeah, just along what you just said, and I was just reading in the packet too. So it looked like, Mr. Anderson, I'm sorry, I had you sit down, and I might have a quick question for you.
That's just fine.
So the notices went out in June to everyone within 1,000 feet, well, within the area required by law. So the HOAs, the residents, and the registered neighborhoods. And you only received one phone call, and it looks like you informed staff of that. And because of the minimal response, even the staff agreed that a neighborhood meeting wasn't necessary.
But
if you got communication, you would.
That's correct, Madam Chair. And everyone that has contacted us or staff, we've attempted to reach out to where possible.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. All right, well, I guess then it's time for us to just deliberate amongst ourselves, or if anybody wants to go ahead and make a motion.
Well, I guess just kind of where I'm looking at this project, and it's an infill project, so there's a lot of constraints. And and a lot of challenges that go along with these little infill sites. I appreciate the effort that has been made by the applicant providing no windows on the, what would be the east side of the property, and also the setbacks, maintaining those setbacks to kind of protect that neighborhood. I'm supportive of this project. I know these are tough. They're tough to design, tough to try to accommodate everything, and I think the applicant has done a good job with that. So as far as my opinion, I support this project.
Okay, thank you. Does anyone else have any comments?
Can I show you guys some emails?
I'm sorry, we've already closed that section of the hearing where we have the public come up, but thank you, though. Okay. Yeah, if nobody else has any other things to add, we'll go ahead and.
I would like to make a motion that we approve, let me make sure I get the right one, case number ZON 18-00359, District 4, the 1100 block of South Stapley Drive, located east of Stapley and north of Southern Avenue, rezoning from LC to RM to PAD and a site plan review, along with a companion case of Stapley and Southern Townhomes, District 4, the 1100 block of South Stapley Drive, located east of Stapley Drive and north of Southern Avenue, preliminary plat. Approved with, both of those approved with conditions.
Okay, thank you. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Okay, so we have a first and a second. We'll go ahead and vote. I'll go ahead and vote, please, and we'll see where we land here. Okay, it looks like the motion passes unanimously with Board Member Assel recused and Board Member Sarkeesian absent.
Madam Chair, if I may, for the citizens who are here, this is a recommendation then on the council. This is not final action, so there is opportunity for additional public hearing and meeting at the City Council. Right now, we would anticipate this being on the August 27th City Council meeting, so the neighbors can watch for that also.
So we can try again on August 27th?
Correct, in these chambers starting at 5:45.
Thank you.
Is that an introduction to?
The introduction will be on the 20th. The actual
okay,
hearings will
so
be on the
that's
27th.
the
We
date.
just need more neighbors
Okay.
to help, and they're gone.
Okay, thank you. All right, thank you. Okay, well, that does it then for the items on our regular agenda. Do we have any other business, Mr. Wesley, to discuss? Okay, so go ahead and motion to adjourn.
I would entertain a motion to adjourn.
Okay, do we have a second?
I'll second.
Okay, everybody, please vote. All right, the meeting is adjourned. Thank you very much for your time.